Episode 4 of a max level player's 100 for regression 4. Round 1 begins random rune piece category. Consumables grade. Unique effect. Randomly acquire runes. Restrictions on use. Level 1 or lower description. An event item created to be provided to players. You can't use it when you level up, so don't save it and use it. As you can see, random rune fragments are one-time items. It can only be used at level 1 and is the only item provided only at the beginning. People look at the angel's explanation with curious eyes. Only Ryu-min, who is no different from a veteran, maintains an expressionless expression. I don't know what it is yet. How to use items and runes. Runes are consumable items that can sometimes be obtained when catching monsters or completing quests. In terms of gaming, it's a kind of passive skill. When you use a rune, it is imprinted on your body and you can gain the corresponding ability. Of course, the more the better. There is no limit to the number of runes you can obtain. If only I could get a lot. The rune's drop rate is on par with that of a unique item, so it is not easy to obtain. The reality is that you can't even get 10 out of 20 rounds. But this is only for the average person. In my case, I had 30 runes at the time of my last regression. Since it was the only class, and there were many runes, I was able to become overwhelmingly strong. Even though I had to be absurdly destroyed in front of the boss room without even being able to show off my skills. This time has to be different. Since this is our last chance, we must grow more overwhelmingly than ever before. There are not 30 runes, but 50, 100, etc. You have to acquire it like crazy to become uniquely strong. You can use the item by holding it in your hand and saying use to your mind. As the angel taught them how to use them, the runes in people's hands disappeared one by one. Use. When Ryu-min also uses it, the rune pieces shatter with a sound. You used a random rune piece. Congratulations, time reversion rune has arrived. The acquired runes are automatically imprinted on the player's body. Because I knew what message would come up in a moment. Remnants of the rune remain in the player's soul. Imprinting failed due to rune characteristics. Imprinting failed. It was a natural result. If it is engraved no, it will be possible to literally make infinite regression. I knew it couldn't be done, but it's still a shame. I really think this is the last regression. When he first returned and used the rune fragment, Ryu-min thought, I might get another rune, but no. I tried using it over time, and even tried using it just before leveling up. One way or another, the result was the same. As if it had already been decided. Only the time reversal rune appears. That's why the engraving failed every time. Unlike others, engraving was not possible, but I did not think it was a loss. This is because the experience and knowledge from the 99 regressions remained. But something unexpected happened. It has been confirmed that he is the 100th time traveler through the remnants of runes imprinted on his soul. Obtained the title last time retrogressor. What style? The engraving failed, but the title was obtained because this was the first time something like this had happened. A moment of confusion appeared on Ryu-min's face. Is this a title given only on the 100th return? It seems that he realized that this was the final return after seeing the remnants of the runes piled up as explained. A new title was registered in the title column where none was written. When Ryu-min lightly touches the title, an information window appears. Title last time regressor, acquisition conditions, acquire the 100th time reversal rune. Effect, when you die you can remain in the spirit state for 1 minute. You can resurrect with all your health restored at any time you want. This is a one-time ability, and the title disappears upon resurrection. Resurrection. At first, Ryu-min didn't know the difference between a title and a rune, because both were effective as passive skills. But now I know. A title is a higher level concept of a rune. It's more effective than runes, and difficult to obtain. I got that title instead of rune. Of course, it had to be beneficial. Additionally, unlike runes, titles can appear under nicknames if you wish. In other words, you can show off your presence in front of people. It would be better to hide the title of last time retrograde. Of course, there is no problem, as the abilities are applied even if the title is not disclosed. Resurrection. You achieve something amazing, right? Even human, who has regressed 100 times, has never heard of a title with the ability to resurrect. Among the professions, priests can use the resurrection skill, but I'd never seen it as a rune or item. In addition, since it restores all stamina, it is a higher ability than the resurrection skill, which normally only recovers 30% of stamina. Although once resurrected, the title disappears. Where is it? In a dead-end situation, where there is no longer any way to return, the resurrection ability is the rain in a drought. Have you all engraved the runes? People nodded at the angel's words. Some people had flushed expressions, as if they had come up with a good rune, while others were frowning. Looking at their expressions, they seemed to be mixed with joy and sorrow. Whether you get a good rune or a crappy rune, accept the outcome. Because that's the luck of you humans. Giggling. The laughter was annoying, but no one complained in front of the angel. Maybe it's because the first impression was so strong. Now that the rune engraving is finished, shall we start playing in earnest? As the angel spread his wings as if signaling, a message appeared before everyone's eyes at the same time. Round 1, kill 100 goblins per person. All areas participants, 1,801,029,290 achievers, 900,514,645. Applicable area SKS 45 to 5 participants, 10,286 achievers, 5,143. Kill 100 goblins. That goblin from the game. What is the area? Are you talking about where we are? As the people who confirmed the quest whispered, the angel nodded. This is the goblin you all know. The area asks for 5 to 5 refers to the group you belong to. The angel suddenly smiled meaningfully. It was round 1, so I prepared something easy. You only have to kill 100 to return to Earth. It's so easy, right? You have to experience it to know whether it's easy or not. But funny enough, there weren't many people who thought like human. Is it a goblin, an incredibly weak monster? That's right. They appear as trash in the game too. It's not as big a deal as you think, right? I thought it was a very difficult quest again. People regained their composure as it seemed to be more difficult than they had feared. If I were to look at you so lightly, you would get seriously hurt. Human, who knew the goblin's skills, was in a situation where he could not hold his tongue. Does everyone seem confident? So shall we skip any further explanation and get straight to the point? Kyo-ho-oh, let the angel flap his wings happily. Tsuwak monsters the size of elementary school students appeared across the meadow. It was the goblin I had seen in novels and games. What is that? Are you a goblin? Haha. It feels like you're really in the game, right? Even though the monster appeared, people were not that scared. Although it was far away, the goblin that was up to its waist looked as gentle as a child. Is it because I have some spare time? Finally, some people appeared who denied reality. It can't be a dream, right? It's like a lucid dream that I only heard about. Have virtual reality games that we only see in novels already become commercialized? Are we kidnapped, knowingly or unknowingly, and being tested? Does that make sense? As game-like situations occurred, my sense of reality and judgment became blurred. I also had time to ask questions to the angel who looked so scary. Angel, don't we give them weapons or something? They are carrying weapons. Weapon? All of the goblins in front were holding daggers or clubs. The angel who was watching this smiled at the humans. There is nothing like that. Whether you catch it with your bare fists or not, catch it yourself. Oh, let me add one thing. Suat, not all goblins have been summoned yet. Goblins, twice as many as before, appeared one after another across the grassland. At first glance, green monsters outnumbering humans filled the field of vision. There are 50,000 goblins summoned so far. 50,000. 10,000 humans versus 50,000 goblins. Is it worth doing? It was only then that people started to get nervous, as more than 5 times the number gathered. Then humans and goblins fight like you want to kill each other, as if they understood the angel's words. The goblins, who had only been glaring, took action. Kiok. The people in the front row hesitated at the aggressively rushing group of goblins. When I saw the goblin running towards me holding a weapon, I couldn't help but feel scared. Well, even if a dog comes running towards you, you're likely to get scared. But now that a monster with a knife is running towards you. Ryuman nodded as if he understood the people's feelings and stepped forward. Due to that sudden action, people's attention was focused on Ryuman. Look at him, you're walking alone. Ryuman put aside the whispering and waited for the goblins to approach. I didn't do this simply because I wanted attention. It clearly shows my presence in front of people. First impressions are important. You need to show strength here to avoid getting caught by annoying flies. It's especially important to get the angel's attention. This requires some performance. Hey there, if you get closer. People who were about to shout that it was dangerous soon silenced themselves. Puck, with a clean back kick, he hit the face of the goblin who ran ahead. Key. The goblin with the broken hooked nose frowned for a moment. Ryuman grabbed his head with both hands and turned it around. Hopping, Ryuman stood up, leaving behind the goblin who died with a horrifying sound, and his tongue sticking out. I snatched the dagger he was holding. Sigh. A dagger was inserted into and out of the neck and back of a nearby goblin. Before the goblin even fell, Ryuman's body aimed for the next target like lightning. Puff dash puff. There was a sound of air being knocked out of the 2 goblins' chests. In an instant, 4 goblins were already dead. The flowing, streamlined movements were reminiscent of a skilled killer. Quick! A fellow goblin rushed at him with enthusiasm, but Ryuman's dagger was faster than him. Puff. Green blood splattered everywhere, but Ryuman didn't care and swung the dagger. It was literally a scene of massacre. The people around him gaped at the overwhelming majesty.